Uh, Hello, this is Tim Cronin, Superintendent for the Decorah Community School District, and I'm here today with Loren Storts. Loren is a fellow Luther grad, but currently serves as the boys' swimming coach after for the winter season, and was the girls' swimming and diving coach for the fall. Welcome, Loren.
Thank you, Tim. Great to be here.
And so we're just going to recap a little bit about the swimming season up to date, and then look and preview what we've got going this winter. So I guess that starts with the girls, and tell us a little bit about how the girls' season went this year.
Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, it was, walking in, you don't know what you don't know. And I met a lot of girls. August 8th was our first practice. I met 99% of the team on August 8th.
Okay, and I should probably take a pause here a little bit. Loren, your background, like, how did you become the core swim coach?
You want the short answer or the long answer?
Well, yeah, I guess so. I knew you at Luther, and your cross country ran the steeplechase.
Yes.
Which I was like cool just in itself, and then did very well at that as well. But so how do you get to Decorah and then become our get back to Decorah and become our swim coach?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. And I'd say probably the short answer is going to Luther. I love Luther. I love the area up here. My wife, I got married shortly after graduating from Luther, and my wife never really came to Decorah, didn't know what Decorah was all about, didn't understand my enamoration with it. And then our oldest daughter chose Luther, and every time my wife would come, goes, "I love this town."
Yeah.
So she grew more and more to like Decorah. We knew we wanted to retire eventually someplace out west in Colorado, and if you've been following the real estate prices in Colorado, can't afford to live in Colorado anymore.
Sure.
So we wanted something like that, and Decorah offered everything we wanted. We both love outdoors. We like to bike. We like to ski. We like fishing. We like hiking. So Decorah kind of checked the boxes for all those things. Then I was blessed to sell my company that I owned in Des Moines 3 years ago. And ironically, a job popped up at Luther College saying assistant track coach. So I felt the timing was right. I knew I'd probably only be a track coach for a short period of time. Just know that I wanted to kind of back off, a lot of work. So I was blessed to work with Luther track and field for 3 years. And then I'd say retired in quotation marks. Adam Riley called me the next day and said, "Hey, we got a shortage of coaches. Would you be interested?" And I quite frankly said, "Well, if you have no other candidates, I'd be happy to be your swim coach." And lo and behold, there weren't candidates. But I feel blessed to be able to help. And that's kind of why I wanted to retire and get back to a community.
Sure.
So this was just an opportunity to do so.
Okay.
So that's how I became the girls swim coach.
All right.
Which then leaked into being the boys swim coach.
And the girls swimming and diving coach.
So Maddie Putnam had the divers.
Oh, okay.
That's way above my pay grade. We've been doing belly flops, cannonballs, and jackknives. If I was a swim coach, they would have had a whole new diving category. So I always say, know what you know and know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And we were blessed to have Maddie Putnam as our diving coach, and she did a phenomenal job with the girls, which left me just working with the swimmers in the pool.
Okay, so we get you hired as a coach, and first day of practice, you meet the team.
Yeah, meet the team. You're like, and I think they knew, right? Because I'm not a swim coach. I'm a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I told the bank, I said, "Girls, I don't know if you knew, but half the time I'm just standing back going, I have no idea what I'm doing." And they go, "We knew, coach." So I felt like I had a great team that understood where I was at. So it gave me a chance to kind of learn. I remember our first meet was at Luther in Arizona. Called me over 3 different times, said, "Hey, just what you just did, we'll get you DQ'd at the end of meet." Oh, so I'm like, "Thank you for telling me, because I don't know." So, it was one of those very steep learning curves with the girls team. And we just had a great team. We had half our team was seniors, great group of girls. They kind of embraced me more than me embracing them. And they brought me along, and the season went phenomenally well. I don't try to make it too tricky. I just say, show up, do the work, have an open mindset, and, be willing to do the new things. And they did. And the season went well. We capped it off with our fourth straight conference championship, which was very important to them. The seniors wanted to go out with 4 wins. Not to be outdone, then we went to the regional meet and competed against like all the big schools in the state. All your Dubuque schools, your Iowa City schools, ended up getting second in the region, only behind Cedar Falls, which I think at the time was ranked 5th in the state. So we were a good swim team. Got 6 girls to state. They swam well at state, scored some points, which is all you can expect. So overall, not putting performance in front of the process, but they did a really good job from a performance perspective this year.
And so the 6 girls who made it to state.
So, so we had Brindley as the diver, and then we had 4 individuals, and then so actually 7 because we took 2 alternates.
Okay.
So we had someone qualifying the 50 free, 2 people in the 100 free qualified in both the 200 free relay and the 400 free relay.
Okay.
With the 200 free relay, swimming the 14th best time in the state.
And then you kind of broke it down, like not everybody has a swim team. It's not like, so you're traveling quite a bit. You're either hopefully hosting, we got to work with Luther College, which they're a great partner to have, and a nice facility out there. But where, like, what are our closest meets and where do we travel to? And
it's Waterloo's our closest meet.
Okay.
And it's not at the high schools, it's at their middle school, which is almost in Cedar Falls.
Okay.
So like last night from door to door was an hour and 45-minute bus drive, to and from. So, we spent a lot of time in the bus. Furthest we traveled on the girls team was to Algona, which is a little over 3 hours each way. On the boys side, we will travel to, the furthest meet will be Newton. Yeah, just no good way to get there, so it's gonna be a lot 2-lane roads and bus time. We go to Dubuque a couple times. We go to Waterloo a couple times, Linmar, Cedar Falls. Where else do we go? We host 2 meets.
Okay.
And the conference meet, we go to Vinton.
I was gonna say Vinton.
Which would be, I've never been to a pool. It's a 4-lane pool, 20 yards.
Oh.
A standard pool is 6 to 8 lanes, 25 yards.
Oh.
So think about if you do 100 yards,
yeah,
which, normal pool is 4 lanes. They'll have a different starting spot and ending spot.
Oh.
For the 100, which again, new. I've never coached a team that had to swim in a short pool. So that's gonna be new this year, which will be kind of fun, and we'll take it lightheartedly because how do you judge a 5-lap pool?
Sure.
So that'd be our furthest trip. Obviously, if we do well at our districts, we'll get some boys to state, which is in Iowa City, which is a neat venue because you get swim the same place that University of Iowa swim team swims at. So hopefully we'll get some boys to the state meet and we can enjoy Iowa City as well.
Okay. So boys, just their first swim meet was last night. So talk me through. So you were kind of saying last night you went down to Cedar Falls, Waterloo. Meet starts at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, they vary. Last time we started at 6:30. So we're normally, there about an hour before meet starts, so we get our warm up. Meets, depending on how many schools, how many athletes, will last hour and a half on the short end. And if it's an invitational, can be 4 to 5 hours. But last night was short.
Okay.
Which is good, right? It's a school night and.
Well, yeah. It was actually a real busy night in the district, and there were lots of options. We had bowling down at Sumner, and we had Sumner here for basketball scrimmage and middle school band. But back to the swimming. So now, did you mention before we started record, you actually started a little late because Dubuque couldn't get there?
Yeah, Dubuque Senior. So it was Waterloo, which is a co-op program as well, like ourselves, and Dubuque Senior. And Senior couldn't get a bus.
Yeah.
So they actually arrived only about 25 minutes before the swim meet started. For the longest time you're sitting there going, are they even going to make it? So I don't know if it's a shortage of buses or bus drivers.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it's just a shortage of bus drivers, and what you have to do then is, like we left before school was out, but if you have a shortage of bus drivers, you let somebody run their route. And then, as soon as they get back, then they load the swim team up or whatever team. And unfortunately, I'd love to say that I worry that just in general in the state is going to get worse. Not that all our swim meets are going to be late, but just finding drivers to do activities, is an important part of the school. And we don't want to push that any later because you have a swim meet that starts at 6:30, gets done about 8:30. Our big treat last night.
Yeah, Raising Canes.
I got that on my list now.
This should be a promo, right? You get some
I know,
royalties from this.
We'll reach out to the Raising Canes people. So the boys, they swim well and they're respectful of the bus driver. They're going to stop at Raising Canes. So big time for the team last night. You get back to Decorah at
Yeah, we rolled in at 11 p.m.
11
And,
p.m.
You know, again, we have boys that are from Cresco, Waukon, North Fayette Valley, and then Decorah. You know, so we think, hey, we roll in at 11 o'clock and go to bed. I had boys going, 30 to 40 minutes, both directions, east and west, before they even got to bed. And then we had a morning practice today at 6. So I'd hate to even know how much sleep they got last night.
Yeah.
Limited amount. And they were there, right? Everyone was there. That's what, you love teams that just show up. And it had been really easy to get some texts this morning. Hey, not feeling well, coach, blah, blah, blah. But they were all in the pool at 6 a.m. this morning. So kudos to the boys for showing some resiliency.
And how big is our boys team?
We have 21 boys right now and 2 managers. Which everything's what's a swim manager do? A lot, right? They get splits during the races. So I'm very blessed to have 2 of the girls from the swim team be my managers for the boys team. So they understand swimming, they understand splits, and so they can really be kind of like assistant coaches on the deck for me. And everyone asks me, is that a big team? Like, well, we had more swimmers than Dubuque Senior.
Okay.
And we had more swimmers than Waterloo West. So I think that speaks to either the program and how it's been built here at Decorah, catch me there every once in a while. So it's a compliment to our community that kids actually participate in sports.
Sure.
Because I assume that Dubuque seniors 2 to 3 times our size and number of students per class, I would think. And the boys swim well. Not only do we have a good quantity of swimmers, we have a good quality of swimmers. I don't put this early in the season a lot of expectations on times or how they perform, but they exceeded my expectations last night. And, I was excited this morning to go, boy, that's pretty big. I mean, to walk away and convincingly beat Dubuque Senior, convincingly beat Waterloo, when we've only been really swimming for 2 weeks, there's some good things that can happen this year.
Sure. And so my older brother is a retired cross country coach, and I think one of the things about a sport like cross country or swimming, you're competing against other people, but you're competing against yourself. You're working to get better on your times, and you can kind of see that because for the most part, the pool's the same length every time, and the events are the same. And sure, there might be some conditions that you swim faster or better, but it's a team sport. But there's a lot of individual aspect of it. Yeah,
that's exactly how I see the sport. You got relays, which are a team aspect. Then you got the team score, and then you can still have a great individual day. So boys and girls have the opportunity to have a great individual race, contribute to a great relay race, and then contribute to the overall team score. Then at the same time, get in the pool and do their own thing. So yeah, I love track. I love swimming for those purposes because the team can have a bad day, but you still individually could have a great performance and feel good about what you did.
And so you did mention that we're a co-op, so make sure that folks understand. So our program is like, I would call it a sharing agreement, but we've got other school swimmers on our team. And that probably happens in, I think of the small schools probably do that a lot for cross country, but folks do it for wrestling. And some of those sports, when you do it, I know wrestling, they're not a big fan of it because if Central City and Springville, 2 districts about the size of South Wind, go together, then they have to count the total beds enrollment. And then you might bump up a class and might put yourself in a different group. For swimming, we just have 1 class.
Right.
So
even like Waterloo. I mean, Waterloo has shared agreement or co-op.
Yeah.
Waterloo West, Waterloo East. There are 2 Catholic schools feed into their swimming program, and then Union LaPorte or Union
LaPorte City.
LaPorte City.
It's a district's called Union.
Yeah. So they feed it. So it's not just us in these small little communities. It's a lot of the programs. If you go to even Waukee, who's the behemoth in the state, they have Van Meter kids swimming with them. So it's not just us. There's just fewer pools. So these co-op agreements are pretty much everywhere.
Sure. Should we talk about opportunities to see the swim team?
Sure.
Definitely you can go to any of the road trips, but the 2 home swim meets, I've got Friday, December 16th. We're hosting multiple schools that night. Correct. 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
at our pool at Luther College.
Yeah.
And I don't have the other home meet here. So you're gonna pull out your phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that.
I could probably track it down as well. The other question I could ask you while I look it up is, the opportunity to use the pool at Luther.
Mhm.
That's a nice luxury for us to have. It's a little nicer than the pool that we had when we were at Luther. Although for someone who just needed to swim a few laps because he twisted his ankle, it on the basketball court, it worked out just fine. But they've upgraded.
They've upgraded. Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. I laugh because going to Waterloo last night reminded me a lot of my old high school pool. I think they're all built like the 1950s, 1960s, and I don't know if the word janky is what you can use.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're not fancy, they're not bougie, right? Decorah's or Luther's pool, I would say, is bougie compared to a lot of schools we go to. Even as for go Cedar Falls, you know, a community of their size and the strength of their program, Luther's pool is far better than their pool. I would say probably the only one that we swim in that's equal would be the new Dubuque facility.
Okay.
All the schools went together in Dubuque and created this beautiful swim facility, and it's very nice. But that's probably the only one we've swam in that's better than the Luther pool.
Okay.
So we're blessed to have that. Now I wish we had our own schedule. We could make our own schedule.
Sure.
You know, that's the takeaway, but they're very accommodating, and Aaron Zander, the head swim coach, is, you know, always trying to find ways for us to get in the pool and get more yardage in, because, you know, we balance it out with their swim team.
Sure.
They're in season right now. We balance it out with the master's program, which is a paid program. People pay to use the pool, and then the community has access to the pool. So, and then you got NST, which is the swim club. So there's 5 different groups that want to use the pool, and guess what time they want to use it? Same time we want to use it. So, you know, you got to find that balance of what's right, and we make it work.
And so swim practice are generally first thing in the morning.
So we do twice a week in the morning,
Okay.
normally 6 a.m. But again, you know, we have these co-ops, so kids have to leave at different times. Like this morning, we went on Wednesday. You know, Decorah has a late start, but you know, we got boys leaving at different times. They have to get to different schools for different, you know, different start times. Then we do 3 nights a week after school at 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
That's because that's when we get the pool. Which puts those kids that spot where, do I eat before practice?
Sure.
And then it's late after practice by the time they get home. So nutrition's, I mean, nutrition's very important to us. You know, kids have got to learn to eat, drink at the right times, just to stay healthy. More so in the winter season, just because they're not getting vitamin D. They're not seeing the sun as much as, you know, the girls do in the fall, where they can get out on a Saturday and still get some sunshine. So it presents unique challenges with sharing the pool and getting it this late, 6:30 at night, but it works out for us.
Sure. Well, and there's no perfect swimming pools in any community are always tough. I'll be curious. What do you think of the Linmar pool?
I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, I've just walked through it once or twice. You know, that's where my kids went, and I remember when they built it, and it was pretty elaborate. So, and I don't know if the Cedar Rapids schools have rebuilt their pools yet or not, but I don't know if we even have doesn't look like we swim there. So I'm just looking at the schedule, and I'm just seeing our one home meet is December 16th. So if you know a different one,
Yeah, I'll have to look
I
it
should
up.
probably get that on my calendar. I think the night of the 16th, I had bowling in town and swimming after. I thought that sounded like quite a night for me.
We can just look while we're here, because a lot of times they're going to be Tuesdays. Let's Bruce here first. We got a Benton.
Riveting.
Yes.
So let's see. Any rituals that swim teams do that?
It's almost night and day between boys and girls.
Okay.
You know, so I think, you know, girls, they have to be, so I always say girls have to be happy to swim fast. That's just the mantra I use. Happy swimmers are fast swimmers. So they do a lot of team building activities. They have cheers and chants before. I mean, before the meet starts, they have 4 or 5 cheers they do.
Okay.
You know, which is awesome, right? It gets them together. They create some energy. Boys, not so much. They're like, let's just swim. And, you know, boys on the flip side, they have to swim fast to feel good. So they're motivated differently. So like last night, first time on the deck with the boys at a meet, I'm like, do we have any cheers? Like, no, we just swim, coach. So, it's unique in how they do it. How the girls elect captains is different than how the boys elect captains. And because these rituals have been around for a while, I'm always slow to change things. If it's something I don't 100% agree with, I might change it right on the spot, but I kind of just let the season flow with the girls and let them kind of dictate the rituals and what went on. The boys are not as much. Last night, half of them didn't even have swim caps. They're like, boys, where's your swim caps? The girls had to make sure they all had the same swim caps, looked uniform. I mean, the boys were just kind of flowing last night. And
Okay.
I was handing out swim caps right before the races.
Oh,
Because, they don't think about that stuff. Girls think about it a month in advance. Coach, what color are swim caps going to be this year? That's not important to boys. So we may or may not have had some illegal swim caps last night.
oh,
So, you just laugh as a coach and go, all right, we'll get that fixed for the next meet. But yeah, they're different animals as they should be. On the girls' side, they do a lot of sleepovers. They have rituals where the night before the conference meet or the week before the conference meet, they have a sleepover at somebody's house. The boys, nah, we're good, coach. So I'm learning. I guess on the girls' side, I now know what rituals are. I'm learning what the boys' rituals are, and they're far fewer, from what I understand.
okay. And you were explaining to me just the makeup of a boys swim meet, a little different than the makeup of a girls meet, and I hadn't thought about this. I know, like for example, when I watch or go to like the NCAA wrestling, big Iowa wrestling fans, and I know that there's like rules like you have to have an hour break before you wrestle, and so there's not specific rules for the boys, but the girls have a break built right into all swim meets because they do diving in the middle.
Yes, any dual or triangular meet, the girls will have swimming in the middle of the meet, which is great.
Diving in the middle.
Diving in the middle, and that's great for girls. It gives them rest because there's times when even last night a boy would swim one race. There might be 2 heats that race, and they're in the next race, so they barely have time to get out of the pool, and they're getting ready for the next race. So they build breaks in for that reason.
Okay.
And girls, there's just that natural break with diving. You can ask me how long it takes. Well, it depends on how many divers there are, how many dives they let them do. Either it can be 6 dives or 11 dives. So it can be a 30 to hour and a half break in the middle of a meet for girls to eat. I mean, you can actually eat. There's no time once a boys swim meet starts for them to eat. They might be able to snack, but there's no time to eat.
No time to eat.
Yeah. So if it's a long meet, for a girl, it could be a 5-hour swim meet. So they're getting a meal at some point during that meet. On the boys' side, it's truncated and it moves along.
And 11 events for a swim meet.
Correct.
And then we do JV and varsity.
Yes.
Okay, so 22 events.
22 events.
Breaks built in. About 2 hours of swimming.
Yeah, about 2 hours. So when someone comes to me like if you come watch a swim meet or fans come out and watch a swim meet, it's entertaining because it's not just the same event, same stroke. In swimming, there's 4 different strokes. And then there's relays that have all 4 strokes in them. And there's relays that are purely just 1 stroke. And then there's races that are just 1 stroke. So there's some, learning that for the casual observer to come watch the swim meet. And then there's technique. So like in track, no one really cares what your running form is. They give a gold medal to whoever runs if it's good form, bad form. In swimming, there's actually rules on how you stroke.
Sure.
And we have a lot of new boys on our swim team. So I was laughing last night. The head officials becoming a friend. And I said, hey, we've got 2 boys that never swam in their life. I can't guarantee their starts are going to be legal or their strokes are going to be legal. And he walked up to me to the backstroke. These 2 boys were both doing the backstroke that had never swam before. And I go, hey, 2 weeks ago, they couldn't swim. So give them a little bit of a break tonight. They're trying something. And he was laughing. I was laughing. And he goes, I could DQ them, but I'm not going to. I said, that'd be awesome, right? I don't want these boys to walk away from their first meet being disqualified.
Sure.
We'll work on their technique and they'll be better by the next week. So there's also that human side to swimming that you don't want to discourage kids from not participating because it's a great sport. It's a life sport, Tim. I love life sports because you can do it after high school. Think about how many kids go on. And I wrestled. I haven't wrestled since high school. A lot of kids don't, but I'll still get in the pool.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great sport if done right, that you can teach it and they can do it for the rest of their life.
And that's probably maybe one of my last questions here is, how does somebody who's never swam before say, I want to go out for the swim team?
You know, we got on the bus last night and I said, boys, we're going to have some boys that swim really well. We're going to have some boys that are going to struggle tonight. But those of you who have never swam a meet in your life, raise your hand. I said, I'm going to applaud you guys right now because you have a growth mindset. You're willing to try things that you've never tried before, knowing that you don't know what the result's going to be. So, you know, I applauded the boys last night that had never swam more than the boys that had swam their whole lives because, you know, I embrace kids that try new things. And these two boys who had never swam in their life 2 weeks ago, both did 4 races last night. So I guess, you know, what I love about being a coach is you never know what that's going to unlock. You know, that unlocks something else for that kid to go, I never thought I could do this. I never thought I could be in the band. I never thought I could do, you know, you name the event.
Yeah.
I never thought I could lead people. I never thought I could, you know, whatever it might be. So I, as a coach, have some fairly simple principles on how I coach kids. And number one, be willing to try new things. Number two, be willing to do hard things, you know, and then number three, be willing to bounce back after you fail doing hard things. You do those 3 things and then you're going to be successful in life. So it was really fun last night to see these 2 boys who had never swam before. For the first night of swim practice, I thought I was going to be doing water rescues, actually compete, and looked like they knew how to swim. You know, so I go, boys, you're going to have the biggest improvement this year.
Grow. Yeah, for sure.
You're going to be starting here and starting there. So exponentially, you're going to have the biggest improvement. Yeah. So, you know, I applaud you for coming out, which you hope leads to more kids coming out, because there's probably kids walking the hallway, leaving school at 3 o'clock. We should be on the swim team.
Yeah.
You know, that maybe these 2 kids will be an influence to that. Hey, I can do it too. And that's how programs grow.
Sure.
And you never know who the next Michael Phelps is going to be until, you know, Michael Phelps got in the pool by somebody.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's a Michael Phelps out in the.
Well, there you go. That's not too big a ask, is it?
Nah. You might as well shoot for the stars, right?
Very good. Well, I appreciate our conversation today. We're gonna look forward to definitely the home meet on Friday, the 16th of December, and possibly another one. We need to track that down if it exists.
I think what's gonna probably be, Tim, is our conference meet.
Okay.
Because we have the nicest facility.
Okay.
You know, so teams like coming here because we have a very nice facility and it's a fast facility. So I think I had that one earmarked as our other home meet.
Okay. And conference, it's not the NEIC conference. It's just kind of the Northeast schools.
I mean, it's you know, we had, so on the girls' side, we had Newton, we have Grinnell, we had Pella, we had Oskaloosa, we had Decorah, and then Benton.
Okay.
You know, so it's an eclectic group of swim teams, all about our same size. So I think Adam Riley would kind of know how that all came together. Sure. Why those 6 teams?
Oh, among other things, probably because they had a team and
no conference.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll look forward to those meets, and I'll be curious to, when I run into you, find out what you think about all these pools. And Benton probably intrigues me more than anything, but and continue working with our kids. I appreciate you being our coach as somebody who got recruited to do that. So
well, you know, I get as much out of the kids as hopefully they get out of me. So it's a good thing. So thank you.
You bet. So thanks to Loren Storts, and we look forward to boys winter swimming and getting updates from that. Thank you.